Crazy week for Manchester United, man. Let's get into this Manchester United news. Damn, damn, damn. Crazy week, man. Crazy week. Oh, I just hope that we can get some signings in early, right? I just hope that we can get some signings in early. We're hearing about Mbeumo. We'll talk about that. We're hearing about Emi Martinez, the Sancho situation, and Fabrizio Romano coming in clutch as always, man. So Fabrizio Romano, even David Ornstein talking about some of the situations about Manchester United, talking about Ekitike, talking about different aspects like a striker. So David Ornstein, Fabrizio Romano, they've been genuinely talking, giving updates, and just telling us what's really going on, right? We all want to know, okay, what's genuinely going on? What are we gonna do in this summer transfer window? Ruben Amorim, apparently he is pushing behind the scenes, bro. He's pushing. He's genuinely pushing for some signings, and let's just get into this, man. Let's just get into this because, hey, Fabrizio Romano, he came out with the Sancho news. Oh, Jadon Sancho. We know this guy. A lot of fans want him sold, right? That is the situation. Of course, Jadon Sancho, his wages are a massive factor as well. But let's hear it from the big man himself, Fabrizio Romano, man.
Today we have to start with one of the topics of the summer transfer window, and it's going to be Jadon Sancho. Because the decision made by Manchester United, from what I understand on the Jadon Sancho situation, is at the moment to wait. Not to accept loan proposals, but to give priority to a permanent transfer for him, because the idea, the very clear idea, is to make money, make profit, and sell Jadon Sancho in this summer transfer window. He returned from Chelsea, as Chelsea were not able to reach an agreement with the player on his salary, and now Manchester United are looking for a solution for Jadon Sancho on a permanent transfer. So conversations are ongoing, conversations are underway to find a solution on a permanent transfer. Also because they don't want to keep the player at the club. The idea is to part ways on a permanent transfer. But there are already some clubs interested in a loan. For example, Napoli. Napoli have genuine interest in Jadon Sancho, but they are not willing to cover his whole current salary. So,
And that's the problem right there because Sancho, he's on insane wages according to Fabrizio. Let's just hear.
what's the topic here? Or Manchester United find a club to sign Jadon Sancho on a permanent transfer, taking care of his big salary. Otherwise, Napoli, for example, will wait a bit to see if there are doors open later in the window for Jadon Sancho. What I can tell you also today is that my understanding is that between Napoli and Jack Grealish, despite the English rumors in the recent days, there is nothing concrete, nothing serious. Napoli are focused on different targets, and so Sancho is a possibility, but for Napoli only on loan, with Man United covering part of his salary, or permanent transfer, but with the player reducing the salary, and it's not going to be easy. And then it's important to mention also for Napoli that this situation of Jadon Sancho is something that they will wait, but not forever. So let's see what's going to be the timing for this story. Jack.
And that's the thing, bro. They only want a loan, so we cover most of his wages. So Jadon Sancho, Napoli only want like a loan deal, right? They don't want to genuinely pay his wages. And if Jadon Sancho rejected Chelsea, he rejected reducing his wages for Chelsea. He's not gonna reduce his wages for Napoli. So this Jadon Sancho situation, it might just drag us on, bro. It might just drag us on, and it's gonna be extremely hard for us to sell him, right? Just based on this situation, hey, Jadon, it's gonna be hard for Manchester United to get rid of this guy. So because of the wages, and I don't know who was obviously when we signed Jadon Sancho, he was like a marquee signing, this and that from Borussia Dortmund. People thought he was gonna be successful. A lot of us thought, hey, he's a good signing, this and that, but it hasn't worked out for Jadon Sancho. And now the wages you've given him, they're gonna be a real factor in why we can't really sell this guy, right? So Sancho, that is the update from Sancho, man. But let's just get to some positive news, man, because apparently Mbeumo, man, this guy, It's on the verge, right? We're on the verge of sealing a full agreement with Mbeumo. We know discussions between the two clubs have been going on, Brentford, Manchester United, and news just today. Apparently, we're on the verge of genuinely getting this deal over the line. I won't be shocked if by this week we hear here we go from Fabrizio Romano, right? Because Mbuemo, we've been negotiating this price for a long time. He rejected Tottenham. He only wants Manchester United. So it's just about Man United agreeing that fee with Brentford. Personal terms won't be an issue. The guy, obviously, him and the club have discussed like wages. What type of wages does Mbuemo genuinely want? What type of wages will this man actually take? They've already discussed that. It's just club to club negotiations, man. And we know Brentford, they wanted over 60 million. That second bid is genuinely gonna come, and then I think this week we will hear here we go from Fabrizio Romano, because this deal has been dragging on. Let's get it over the line. Let's announce the player, and then we just focus on like other positions, because Mbuemo, he does improve us. And I know a lot of people are worried about, okay, our first 5 games, right? Our first 5 game of the season, but that shouldn't really worry you, because those are the games Ruben Amram has genuinely turned up in, right? The big games, the games against Man City, the games against Arsenal, the games against Liverpool, clubs like that. It's only Chelsea where you're saying, okay, can we win that game, right? The first 5 games, I think it's only Chelsea where previously the manager has struggled against Chelsea, but against Man City, Ruben Amram will be able to get a point or even win that game. Against Arsenal, we've seen him in the FA Cup beating Arsenal, teams like that. So the big teams aren't really the worry, right? I'm genuinely worried about, hey, what do we do against Burnley? What do we do against these small teams? So I know a lot of people are worried about the fixture list, but that shouldn't genuinely be a worry. And guys like Mbuemo, they will genuinely take you to that level where you're at least competing, right? You're at least competing as a team, scoring more goals. Because if people genuinely remember our old situation, we were in a situation where people are not scoring, right? Or we're not creating. So at least guys like Patrick and Mbeumo, they do bring that competence, they do bring that consistency, and we need such kinds of players, bro. Bringing consistency and performances. So Patrick and Mbeumo almost over the line. This is amazing news, man. This is amazing news. That bid is gonna come. Here we go soon. So Fabrizio, we heard what he had to say about Sancho. Let's hope we find a resolution for that, right? Because Jadon, we know with Sancho, those wages are gonna be the problem. I think the only realistic situation for Sancho leaving Man United on the same wages is Saudi Arabia, man. Nobody's gonna pay you the wages Manchester United are paying you. So Jadon, you gotta lower your wages, brother. You gotta lower your just lower your wages. Go to Napoli, right? It is what it is, man. It hasn't worked out at Man United. It is what it is. That is the situation. So just lower your wages and try a Napoli, try a Serie A. So that is the situation with Sancho and Mbeumo. But Emi Martinez, man, this guy, apparently Emi Martinez has made it clear that he wants Manchester United, right? His only focus is Man United. And apparently Man United are a Finnish club, but all these players, they want to play for United. Mbeumo, Ekitike, Emi Martinez, but we're a Finnish club, right? So it would take us 40 million. So 40 million for Emi Martinez, would people genuinely take that? Especially some people are saying the age aspect, right? Some people are saying, hey, the age aspect of Emi Martinez, is it wise for us to pay 40 million? But we've seen the past 3 seasons, the past few seasons, where Andre Onana has been holding us backwards massively, right? A lot of situations where Onana has been the guy genuinely holding you back, the guy genuinely losing you a lot of games. So if Onana transitions into a bench player, because next season we heard the reports of Onana, right? This guy, he's not going anywhere, right? He's not going anywhere. Andre Onana. So it might be a situation where we sell Altai Bindia because we did hear the reports of our third choice goalkeeper getting a new deal, right? Tom Heaton is getting a new deal. I don't know why that's happening, but Tom Heaton, he's here to stay. Onana, he's here to stay. So it's only outside Bindia where we might genuinely sell this guy, right? It's only outside Bindia where we might say, hey, goodbye to Bindia. Onana might be our second choice bench player. So we are doing something, though. We are doing something in the market. I would take Martinez, but that same price we could have gotten Garcia, bro. Garcia from La Liga, bro. That guy would have cooked. There were so many other, because long term is Emi Martinez gonna be here long term? That's what some people are asking. Okay, Emi Martinez long term, is he a long term solution? You buy him now and then in 3 years you have to replace him again. But it is what it is, man. Emi Martinez, bring him in. He's good with saving. He's extremely good at like just. He's a competent goalkeeper, bro. He won't make too many mistakes, and we've seen him for Villa. We've seen him for Argentina. He can save penalties. If we reach a situation where we need a goalkeeper to save us in penalties, he's the guy, right? He is the guy, and good signing, man. Just it's a good signing based on yo, you have Andre Onana. So that is a massive upgrade from Andre Onana. So, yeah, Emi Martinez, man, let's hope he does cook. Let's hope he is the guy we genuinely need. And just want to talk about like this Ekitike situation because Ekitike, we've heard Fabrizio Romano give updates on this one, right? Apparently we did call his agent. We're in contact with his agent, Ekitike. Right now, he looks like the main, the main striking option, the main striking target, right? We thought it was gonna be Gyökeres, but the Gyökeres news has, Gyökeres to Man United news has really decreased, right? It has really decreased, and now we're hearing big journalists like Fabrizio, like David Ornstein, all they're talking about is Ekitike. Apparently, we're talking to his agent, right? In recent days, we know what Fabrizio loves to say. Hey, in recent days, Man United are talking to his agent. And on what David Ornstein had to say. So, David Ornstein, massive journalist, works for the Atlantic, and he's given an update on this Ekitike situation. He went on to say, when you speak with English clubs, they think the price tag will be a bit lower, right? So this price tag we're hearing of almost 100 million euros, 80 million pounds, he's saying, David Ornstein is saying, no, 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 this price tag is gonna be lower, right? Ekitike, I think people are over exaggerating this price tag. He says it might be lower, it would be lower. So, and he's saying there is some optimism that hey, it won't be as high as people are making it out to be because we're seeing the price tag, 100 million for Ekitike, this and that. So David Ornstein is coming out to say it won't be that high. It won't be that high with negotiations. That price tag can genuinely come down to even 56 million pounds, right? So that's reasonable. 60 million pounds, 56 million pounds for Ekitike. I think that would be reasonable. Of course, he's a Joshua Zerski type of player. A lot of people do compare him to Joshua Zerski. We've seen him. He is literally good in front of goal. Outside the box, inside the box, he's a good striker, right? And he's that type of player with also technical ability, type of flair as well. So Ekitike, I do see this deal actually going through, man. Because recent days, it's actually shocking that okay, this is the only striker David Ornstein has genuinely talked about with Man United. Because when David Ornstein speaks, he doesn't speak a lot, right? But when he does speak, it genuinely insinuates something, right? It genuinely does insinuate something because even Victor Gyökeres, David Ornstein never said anything about Victor Gyökeres to Man United, right? He never said anything. He never gave updates of Victor Gyökeres to Man United, this and that. He never did that. So when he comes out to say, okay, Ekitike to Man United, that's a possibility. It means there's something in it, and even Fabrizio saying we're talking to the agent. So this is really concrete right now. And with David Ornstein, he's saying the price won't be as high as people are making it out to be. We've heard Ornstein, he's been given updates of, okay, striker is next in line. The striker position is next in line. After Mbeumo is sealed, that striker is next in line. So we know that was the situation. Okay, we're trying to get a striker over the line. We're trying to get get Mbeumo over the line, and we spoke about that. Hey, Mbeumo, it looks like it's happening, right? It does look like it's happening, but now it's about, hey, getting that striker position over the line. After Mbeumo, we get a striker, and it looks like it will be Ekitike. And after that striker, apparently we will be out for a midfielder, right? And we're hearing my boy Richard Rios. Richard Rios is gonna be the midfielder. So I think they have a plan of what they're doing. Okay, let's get the Mbeumo deal over the line. Then we get in a striker, and then we focus on the midfield. So according to David Ornstein, after that Mbeumo, it's a striker. A striker is the massive one. Then you go for midfielders, because we do need replacements for guys like Christian Eriksen. And next season, there were rumors about, hey, Ruben Amorim playing Casemiro more off the bench, right? He won't be as much of a starter next season. We've been hearing rumors of, oh, Jason Wilcox is telling Ruben Amorim about Sekou Kone. He wants to see Sekou Kone play more games next season. It's a situation where Sekou Kone might get more game time, right? Because Jason Wilcox, behind the scenes, he wants to sign young players. He wants to sign young players, and probably more young midfielders will come in. We know, hey, Diego Leon, he's coming in 1st of July. He'll be with the team. 19th of July, our preseason starts. So it's it's moving, man. It's moving. By the 1st of July, you'll be just seeing videos of, hey, Man United training, this and that. Diego Leon arriving for Manchester United. So it's going to be busy July. And by July, I think that Mbeumo deal is done and dusted. He'll be joining us in that preseason. I think that's the main mindset, right? That is the main mindset. We sign players and preserve them for preseason, bro. We will preserve them for preseason so that they're there for that at our first preseason. They're active, they're ready, and they're firing. And this Richard Rios to Man United, it started heating up, right? Because apparently we are sending scouts to just review how he's playing in this FIFA Club World Cup. He's a good player. I won't even lie. He is a good player. Under pressure, the way he carries the ball is insane. Under pressure, the way this man actually carries the ball is insane, man. It is insane. So, uh let's just genuinely see how this develops, man. Because hey, this guy, bro, Richard Rios. If you've been keeping up to what he's doing in the FIFA Club World Cup, the guy is really playing well, right? Sorry, not just FIFA Club World Cup, in his usual tournaments, right? I've watched maybe 4 games of him, but under pressure, this guy is really good. Richard Rios, right? I hope we do get a midfielder like this, because at least he's cementing his name. I think he's the next up and coming guy, bro. I genuinely do think he's the next up and coming guy. The way he deals with, he reminds me, like, under pressure, low key, he reminds me of like a Frankie De Jong, like, where he makes it look easy. You're under pressure, people are pressing you, but you beat the press so easy. He reminds me a bit of like a Frankie De Jong type of player, where under pressure, just in the aspect of under pressure, of course, the passing. Would you compare his passing to Frankie De Jong? His passing is really good, but under pressure, the way he carries the ball under pressure, and the way he's unbothered when people are just pressing him, and he's press resistant, bro. He's just there doing what he needs to do. So Richard Rios, he would be a good signing for Manchester United. I won't even lie. Guys like that, they take you to that next level. They do add some type of competence, some type of mm, it just upgrades your midfield, right? And midfield is where we need to actually strengthen as well. So let's see what genuinely happens. Of course, we heard of Xavi Simons, but let's see how concrete that is. I think Richard Rios is coming from a credible source, so you can genuinely see that, okay, Richard Rios, we are checking up on the update, we are checking up on what he's genuinely doing and how he's genuinely moving, because we do need a midfielder. And yeah, so let's see where this goes, man, because those first 5 games, just pattern up your team, build a foundation, and that foundation, I think, in those first 5 games, of course, people are worried. Oh, it's Arsenal. Oh, it's Man City. Oh, it's Chelsea, right? But I genuinely think we can win maybe 2 or 3 of those, right? 2 or 3 of those games are winnable, extremely winnable, especially the Arsenal one. I think out of all the 3 big games we have in the first 5 games, I think Arsenal are the most winnable out of Chelsea, Man City, and Arsenal. I think Arsenal will be the most winnable. We've seen we've seen Ruben Amorim against Arteta in recent times, bro. He knows what he. There are some games he does lose, but he's won against Arteta before. I think he can do it with a better team, with a better attack. Mbeumo is gonna be there, and Cunha is gonna be there. So I'm not really worried about our first 5 games, bro. I'm not really worried, because the big games, that's where he makes his money. That's where I'm like, I don't even question this man, Ruben, when it comes to the big games. Obviously, he lost the Europa League final, but games like Man City, Manchester Derby, I know the guy will turn up. I know the guy will be, he will win that game. I genuinely have that faith. I don't know what it is, but it looks like he knows what to do against Pep Guardiola. At Sporting, he beat Pep. At Man United, he's beaten Pep. So I know Pep, he has new players, unbelievable players. Ryan Cherky, like good new players. But overall, I think we're gonna have too much for it, especially now that we're gonna have like a better team, right? A better team in the building. So it's nothing to genuinely worry about. I know a lot of people are worried and they're saying, "Hey, what next? What's genuinely gonna happen?" But nothing to genuinely worry about, man. We're moving well. We're moving the way we wanna move, and if you do bring in Ekitike, it just means Rasmus Højlund might be sold, right? And we've been hearing this situation of Rasmus Højlund to Inter Milan. This guy, Rasmus, let's see the situation with Rasmus, because I think selling Sancho would be the hardest thing. We heard that from Fabrizio Romano. Selling Sancho will be the hardest thing. Selling Rashford looks like that Barcelona deal might not really happen, because now they've genuinely signed Nico Williams. Nico Williams to Barcelona. It is close. That was the update Fabrizio Romano gave just today. Today he did give that Nico Williams to Barcelona agreement done. So yeah, what does that genuinely mean for Marcus Rashford? Looks like that Barcelona deal might not genuinely happen for Rashford, because if Nico Williams does go to Barca, I don't think they will sign another attacking player on the same position in Marcus Rashford. So Rashford, where does he genuinely end up? Because it might be the same situation as Sancho, where he won't go to Aston Villa and reduce his wages. That's the main problem. So with Rashford and Sancho, the wage aspect, it might be the the factor that make them stay, right? It's gonna be crazy. But with Rashford, I think Rashford isn't gonna be like us. It might be like Sancho, but I think Rashford, he loves the club enough to say, okay, yeah, I will leave, even if I have to reduce the wages. With Sancho, I don't see him doing that. I don't see him saying, "Hey, I'm gonna leave and reduce my wages, go to Napoli." He's saying, "Hey, if I'm going to Napoli, they gotta pay me the same wages or more." He's refused Saudi, he's refused Chelsea. So right now it's just Serie A teams and Borussia Dortmund, but Borussia Dortmund, they won't really pay his wages. So with Sancho, I genuinely do think we've played ourselves with that Sancho situation, offering him too much wages. Let's see where that goes. Sancho Rashford, I think we are stuck in that aspect. Rasmus Højlund, at least that's a guy you can sell. If Inter Milan do come in for Rasmus, you can sell him like that. It's not an wages aspect where you're worried about his wages. Garnacho, the same thing. It's not a wages aspect where you're worried about his wages. So I think Rasmus and Garnacho are gonna be easy to sell. It's just Rashford and Sancho where the wages are, especially Jadon Sancho. At least Rashford, he has that mindset of, okay, I love Man United. I'm willing to take a pay cut to just go, man, to just leave and just play where I need to play. But Sancho, he's saying, no, if I go, you gotta pay me the same wages or higher. So only realistically, Saudi are gonna do that, but I don't see him going to Saudi, right? He definitely won't go to Saudi, Jadon Sancho. So Sancho, we've played ourselves by giving him too much money, but he was a marquee signing. We have to remember that he was a marquee signing. He was supposed to be the number 7. It just hasn't worked out for Jadon Sancho. With Rashford, I'm not gonna bash him and say, hey, this and that, that and this. Let him leave in peace. He's done what he's done at Man United, came from the academy. Good luck in your next chapter, Marcus Rashford, right? Let's see what genuinely happens in that. I'm not gonna bash Rashford and say this and that and this, right? Good luck to you, brother Rashford. Let's hope he does well in his next chapter, right? Because Rashford, he is that type of player that does love the club, he does love the fans, and he's done a lot behind the scenes for the club as well. So Rashford, hey, go well, man, because Ekitike coming in, there's no space for another attacker. Obviously, Joshua Zerski, I see him staying, right? And some people are asking, will we sign another defender? Because that Quenda deal, obviously, right wing back deal, are we going to go in for another right wing back? We don't really have an update on that. But uh, considering what Omar Barada was saying, he gave more updates, right? Omar Barada came out giving more updates of what they want in the transfer window. Oh, they have a strategy, they have a plan. So apparently they will spend they're trying to make a statement. Low key, that's what Omar Barada is insinuating. We're trying to make a statement. We already have a plan. We already know what we're doing. Oh, the players that are gonna come here are players that wanna play for Man United. We're gonna make a statement, this and that. So let's see how these guys genuinely do make that statement, because we know, we know as United, we can't really believe what these guys say. Omar Barada, these guys, they're gonna come out talking, they're gonna come out promising things, but it's about action, bro. It's about action. Get that Mbeumo deal over the line, and then we can talk about this and that, bro. We can genuinely talk about this and that when you show us the players. First, show us the players. That's when you can. We can have more faith in you, Omar Barada, because right now I love the situation of, okay, we've bought Cunha, but yeah, Omar Barada, yeah, we are gonna genuinely buy Mbeumo, but he's gonna Mbeumo is gonna be over the line. I'm confident with that. We heard Fabrizio. Here we go. Is coming soon. Here we go for Mbeumo is coming soon. So negotiations with that Mbeumo, it's nothing to worry about for the fans. Mbeumo to Man United, it's gonna happen. It's genuinely nothing to worry about for people. That's a deal that's gonna be wrapped up. No doubt about it. Mbeumo to Man United, that is a deal that's gonna be wrapped up in the coming days. We're gonna genuinely here we go. It's just club to club negotiations where they're genuinely just trying to get it over the line. So Mbeumo coming in, that is good. It's looks like Ekitike is the main focus right now. Okay, Ekitike, let's try and negotiate a price lower than what we're hearing. We heard David Ornstein. He's genuinely saying, "Hey, Ekitike, that price tag won't be the price tag we're hearing. It won't be 100 million." So yeah, we are getting our deals over the line. We are getting some players in, and it's just a situation of Man United just be the club we love, bro. Build a team that's competent enough to do something. At least this season, it, of course, it's gonna be about top four, things like that. And then next season, see if you can go a step higher, right? A step higher, because the foundation we are building right now, it's a good foundation in the attack. Mbeumo, Cunha, these guys will bring something, man. These guys will genuinely bring something. So Mbeumo, Cunha, looks like Ekitike. We're not really hearing too much about Victor Osimhen, right? Obviously, I know the fans, they would love Victor Osimhen over the line. They would love Victor Osimhen coming to Manchester United, but it looks like right now it is Ekitike. When David Ornstein does talk about players like Ekitike, he hasn't really talked about Gyökeres or Osimhen to Man United. The only players he's talked about is genuinely Ekitike. So looks like Ekitike is the guy they're really, really trying to push, and it is the guy where negotiations have genuinely started. We know with Victor Gyökeres, right? Victor Gyökeres, it was just a situation where Ruben is the guy that wanted him. Ruben was calling, yo, 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 let's see, try and come to Man United. But those club to club negotiations, they didn't start with Victor Gyökeres. Man United didn't even make a bid for Victor Gyökeres yet. But Ekitike looks like they're planning on a bid, right? According to these major journalists, they're planning on a bid, but they're negotiating to get that price down. So Ekitike looks like he might be the guy, because in recent days we've just heard this Ekitike news just blow up, blow up, blow up. So he is the striker we might go for, man. I won't even be shocked if negotiations fall apart and then they go for another guy. We've seen this in football a lot of times. Negotiations fall apart and then they just go for another guy. So I wouldn't write off Victor Osimhen. I wouldn't really write off Victor Osimhen if Ekitike, if they play hardball and say no, we only want 100 million. I see Man United walking away from this deal and just going to Victor Osimhen, right? So I wouldn't write off a Victor Osimhen situation. You're saying you don't like Ekitike. I understand that. I understand if you wouldn't be comfortable with Ekitike, but we have to see what the club do genuinely do. But Ekitike, he's not really a bad player. He's not a bad player. I think he would be good, but obviously Osimhen, he just gives you that, okay, I can score goals type of vibe, right? He gives you that I'm gonna come here just for goals type of vibe. With Ekitike, he gives you that Joshua Zerski type of vibe where you don't know if his main job is gonna be scoring goals. With Joshua Zerski, he does a lot. He does a lot off the ball. He does a lot of dribbling as well. He has a lot of talent off the ball, on the ball, but it's the goal scoring fans are actually asking, okay, is the next striker gonna come in and score goals? Because we're bringing in guys like Cunha, guys like Mbeumo, and yeah, I agree with you, brother. We do need a strong striker, but let's see how this does develop, because I do see a situation where, okay, if Ekitike, if they are asking for too much, they might just walk away from that deal and go to somebody like Osimhen. So Osimhen, he's still there behind the scenes, but right now we're not hearing too much of Osimhen, and people have to realize that, okay, Osimhen apparently he's on the last year of his contract. So the next summer transfer window he'll be a free agent. So maybe some clubs are saying, okay, Osimhen, just hold out for another season. Hold out for another season, and then next season you come for a free transfer. Just like what Trent Alexander did, right? He went to Real Madrid for free. That might be the same situation with Osimhen. Okay, just play for another season. Napoli next season they have to sell you for free. Apparently, he's on the last year of his contract. So let's see what happens with the attacking positions, because I know as fans we want to bring in that attacker where you are confident, you are genuinely happy and saying, okay, we have somebody in attack that can take us to that next level. We have somebody in attack that can genuinely deliver for us. Ekitike, he's not a bad player, though. I won't come here and say, hey, he's a bad player. But whoever we bring in, just make them competent. If it is Ekitike, let's see what genuinely happens. But I'm genuinely happy that, okay, Mbeumo, he's almost over the line. Let's see that guy for preseason. If we get a situation where at least the preseason before those massive games, our first 5 games are not a walkover. Of course, Burnley, you might think, hey, Burnley will be a walkover, but we know last season our main problems was breaking teams down, right? Breaking guys that defend, right? Creating chances, scoring goals. So a team like Burnley, they're gonna make it hard for us to score. So all 5 of our first Premier League fixtures, they are tough. They are genuinely tough. So the aspect of scoring goals now, it needs to happen, bro. It genuinely needs to happen. So Ekitike, if you do come in, let's hope you are successful. Mbeumo, I genuinely do believe this man will succeed at Man United, because with Bryan Mbeumo, I think fans are just happy that, okay, this guy's Premier League proven, right? This guy's Premier League proven. He's scoring goals for Brentford, so he's gonna come in and do his thing, bro. I genuinely do believe, yo, Mbuemo, Cunha, these guys are goal machines. We've seen Cunha for Brazil recently, got an assist. Of course, some people will say, hey, that's not a world class assist. He just passed it to Vinny Jr., but it's something, bro. It is something. So, Mbuemo, Cunha, these guys will increase the level of goals we score. I think that was the foundation we needed. Okay, increase the goals, increase the creativity, and then you focus on the midfield, because sometimes controlling the midfield is a problem, especially against big teams where, okay, they put you under pressure and then you're not press resistant, right? We saw that the first game against Liverpool, where we're not really press resistant, right? That game where under Eric Ten Hag, our midfield was just falling apart. Every time Liverpool pressed us, it led to a goal or something like that. That's where people were judging Casemiro, but Casemiro, he made an amazing comeback from that Liverpool and Eric Ten Hag situation. Yeah, Mbeumo will succeed. You're saying Ekitike's average, he might just be another Hoyland. We have to wait and see, bro. We have to wait and see, because, of course, some people are saying, hey, Ekitike, it is a Bundesliga situation. PSG let him go, this and that, but he has talent. I understand why some people would say, hey, he's not your first choice. I know some people, their first choice is Gyökeres or Osimhen, right? Of course, Ekitike, he has talent. Mbeumo will succeed for sure, bro. Mbeumo will succeed. He will genuinely succeed. But next season, we have guys that will turn up with goals, with attributes, and midfield. That's where we just need to build like some press resistance as well, right? Press resistance as well, because somebody like our Richard Rios, that guy, if he comes in, he makes our midfield a bit better, right? He's press resistant and he's up and coming, developing type of player. So just build all round, all round. If you can get a right wing back, then go get it. Because I think a lot of fans also are not really convinced with Diego Dalot long term, right? Long term, but we have to just build the positions you need the most. I think right now Diego Dalot isn't the main concern. Right now, the main concern is attack. It is a striker. It is genuinely a midfielder. Yeah, Richard Rios, bro. It's just a situation where they've sent scouts to watch him, right? And I think, yeah, he is solid. He is solid, bro. He is solid, Rios, because they send like scouts to watch him in this FIFA Club World Cup, and after this, we're genuinely gonna see a situation where the talks are more concrete, right? I think that's gonna be the situation, right? Right now, we've sent some scouts out there, and then after this FIFA Club World Cup, we will hear more activities, bro. Way more activities with Manchester United because the talks are concrete, bro. These negotiations are concrete. You're saying yes because Premier League is a very strong league, right? You would prefer Gyökeres or Victor Osimhen. Yeah, I understand that because it is about pace and power as well, right? Being a striker in the Premier League, that's the sad situation, right? That's the reality of being a Premier League striker because sometimes you do need physicality. The pace and power is needed. Yes, as fans, we do love a technical player, right? We love technical players. We love technical players that can give you that technical ability. But some fans are saying, okay, pace and power is needed to succeed in this is a pace and power league, bro. Like if you don't have pace and power as a striker, sometimes you will struggle. Sometimes you will struggle. Obviously, Omar Mamouche, he's banging it out. He doesn't need pace and power. He's banging it out. He's just a technically good player. Guys like Aguero, technically good. And with Aguero, it was a situation where he was aggressive when he needed to be. So you need those types of strikers. I think we need a striker that's balanced, a Kun Aguero type of striker where he knows when to be aggressive, he knows when to be technical, and he's clinical at the same time. So whoever you bring in, let's just hope they are competent and they take us to the next level. They're scoring goals because Mbeumo, some fans were saying, okay, if we don't get a striker, just play Cunha as the number 9. But you take away from his game as well, right? With Cunha, you take away from his game playing him as a number 9. I think that number 10 position, that's where Cunha will genuinely thrive the most. And next season, with Mbeumo coming in, it looks like Amad Diallo might just be a right wing back. So that right wing back position is not really important to an aspect where you need to sign a right wing back right now because Ahmad can play there. Of course, Diego Dalot, he can play there, but you'd prefer to see Ahmad Diallo there because attacking wise, Diallo is a bit better than Diego Dalot in those right wing back positions. And I think from last season, we've seen that, okay, Diallo, I think that might be his best position, right wing back. So right wing back isn't really a priority right now. Just get in some midfielders, get in Martinez if you can, get in a competent striker, a guy that can genuinely take you to the next level. You're saying where will United finish? I'm just predicting, man. It just depends on how Ruben Amram copes. If it's another situation where we are struggling to win, we are struggling to get over the line, then I don't see us finishing above top 5. But I think with our new players, we're comfortable above top 5. I would go to even say fourth, right? Fourth place is a given because I think Liverpool, their manager was riding off a wave where Man United were not really good. Chelsea were inconsistent. Man City were not really that good. So Liverpool, I see them finishing third. Arsenal might finish second. And it pains me to say that, okay, Man City might win the league. So I'll go first, Man City, second, Arsenal, third, Liverpool, fourth, Man United. I'm backing our team to finish above Chelsea, right? I am backing our team to finish above Chelsea. With Chelsea, I know Enzo Maresca is the type of player that will go through a patch where Sorry, he is the type of manager that will go through a patch where he's inconsistent. We saw it last season where Chelsea, they were failing to get wins. They went through a period where they're struggling to get wins. So I see us being a bit more consistent than Chelsea. I hope that is the situation, bro. I hope that is the situation. But just saying, uh, you're saying you honestly believe Ekitike is better for United. And I understand why some fans would say that, right? But it's just according to the manager we have, bro. Just see what the manager loves. Because yes, I know some fans they really rate Ekitike, but just based on the manager we have, Ruben Amorim, he's the type of manager that does love players similar to Gyökeres, where they have physicality and pace, right? And we heard what Ruben Amorim said about what he wants from his striker. He wants his striker to be physical, pace, power, those types of players, bro. He loves those types of strikers where they are physical. The guys similar to Gyökeres. That's what Ruben Amorim loves as a striker. Because I think Ekitike, he's more of a club signing. It looks like this is more of a club signing and it's not really manager driven, right? It's the manager wants somebody like a Gyökeres, and I think Ekitike, it's more of like a club signing. So I think that might be a recipe for disaster, bro. You don't want another situation where Ekitike comes in and then it ends up like Joshua Zerski, where the manager is not really playing him because he doesn't fit the manager's system. I think this is more club driven. The Ekitike move is it's more club driven because I don't believe, based on the way Ruben Amorim talks about what he wants from his striker, I don't believe Ekitike is the main guy. He's looking at, okay, Ekitike should be our main guy. Ekitike is that guy for Man United. I don't believe Ruben is the guy pushing this. I think it is the club, bro. I think it is the club. But whoever comes in, they need to be consistent, competent, and just score some goals, right? Take us to the next level. We need to build a team where we are challenging, we are going over the line. But I appreciate everybody that joined this live stream, man. Just a quick update. Obviously, gotta end it before the United stand actually go live. Mark Goldbridge about to go live. So I appreciate everybody that um joined the stream, man, because obviously my mindset is okay. Going live the same time as Mark Goldbridge, it's literally harder. It is literally harder. That's why Man United making it in the Man United space, especially doing watch alongs, things like that. It's harder when Mark Goldbridge is live. So yeah, I appreciate everybody that joined the stream. Let's hope you all have a nice day, and yeah, let's hope we do have competent signings over the line. Mbeumo, he's coming. I think he will come. So yeah, I appreciate everybody that joined the stream, man.